As I mentioned in the last video, I need to modify some hinges. So your regular barrel hinge, if this is the door and this is the body of the piece, will only let you open about 180 degrees, a little more for the width of the barrel and all that, but then you're running into a conflict there, and we need to have this thing coming all the way around. Well, how do you do that? The answer, you can Google this, is a 270-degree hinge. They're sometimes billed as access hinges to make smaller doors open wider for wheelchair access, that kind of thing. And basically, the most common variant is instead of just having a barrel and a plate, you have a barrel and two L's. And I'm going to make those L bits out of a regular old hinge. So the hinges that you're about to see me talk about, thinking I have my solution, I didn't quite when I shot that. I did come up with a fourth or maybe fifth version, which is this guy right here. And now we can give you maybe a montage of a quick explanation of how 270-degree hinges work, and me making some that were almost good enough. So what this would do, if again this is the body, the carcass of your piece, and this is the door, and the hinge is going to be on this side, and then it will L back to behind here, and then L back to attach the front of this, so that when it opens, you can come that full 270. But as you can see, this will in no way attach to this, and this going into here, our door is MDF, and screwing into the end of MDF is that's only going to last for so long. So we need to weld on some extra plates, and that's why I'm standing at the welding table. So now that I've got my, my bar stock cut to 3 inches, which is the same length as my hinge, what I wanted to do, this is my carcass and this is my door. I want the hinge to be able to ride right there so that the 2-inch plate will weld up something like that, and that'll give a lot of meat to bolt the door onto. And then the shorter plate that will attach to the front of the carcass will weld onto this tab on a 90, and to get some clearance I'm probably going to have to grind that one side down just a little bit. And I haven't done this before, so you're watching me fumble through it right about now. That might just work. I think. And through the magic of I just turned off the cameras, walked over there, and made my little jig here, I have a little jig here. These guys here, because of that angle, are too big to hold this little hinge on a good 90. But I think this is going to do the trick. I messed something up. What did I mess up? Goes on. So I figured out what I did wrong, and I'm going to tell you after lunch. Yeah, I'm going to make you watch. Made my little interior angle jig here and attached it that way. Well, it doesn't go that way. It's supposed to go that way. But now the barrel's in the way, so I'll have to use the other side of my jig and go that way, which I will do now. Smaller plate will come, I don't want to touch that because it's hot, to right there. I think that'll work. Okay, we have version beta point something. This is proof of concept. This is going to work. I need to, on the first step where I shave down a little bit off the hinge, I got to shave down little bit more. So, because he's nice and hot, so I'm not going to touch him. I say as I smush it against my stomach, it won't quite close because this plate's still a little bit long. So, shave a little more off of that for the rest of them and remake this guy, having done that. And this should, so that would be there, that is there. This actually closes all the way. This would let the carcass door open 270 degrees. I think the table has gotten messier since the last cut, and that's because we've had a couple of attempts, a couple of ones that almost worked. Version 1 and 2 are pretty much the same thing, just slightly different angles into that with different amounts shaved off of different parts of the hinge. And on these, I wanted to get the hinge so it closed pretty well, but it's just the tolerance was too tight and they're binding. And my second one actually ended up even worse. Version 3, which I thought I liked, and I do, is functional. So version 3 here, this piece would be the door, looking top down. The carcass of the cabinet would be right here, going this way, and that would allow it to open up to 270. But if you look in there, it still is a little bit of slop, just because I wanted to make sure I had enough so I wasn't going to have a bind, but this was going to put the door really farther away from the body of the cabinet than I wanted. It's actually going to add about 1/4 inch instead of the barely 1/8 that most hinges would. Actually more than 1/4, so maybe like damn near 1/2. A lot of space there. Version 4, it's got the same plate that would attach to the door right here, so that this will attach to the back of the door, this face here. But rather than trying to turn this another L and mount that to the face of the cabinet, it's just kind of continuing back like a strap hinge and attaching to the side of the cabinet. And I think this is going to look better, and I think it's going to function better, and it's going to be much better tolerances, and we can get the door and all that where we want it. So this is what we're actually going with. Yeah, this is where it's at.